Hey guys, what's up and welcome to my part 2 tutorial in Adobe Photoshop tutorials. And in this video people, we're going to take a look at how do you import things to Adobe Photoshop, how do you start editing with some basic editing concepts in Photoshop, and we are also going to take a look at the history menu or the history panel which is there in Adobe Photoshop. Alright guys, so let's get started. Alright people, now listen up. One of the very basic things that I think a beginner does when it launches Adobe Photoshop is brings in his files, that is some images. Now some of the very basic things or some of the very basic ways for bringing in files in Adobe Photoshop will be just doing a double click on this blank area which is there in the middle. If you do a double click, okay, there is going to be this open dialog box which will allow you to navigate to different places where your images are saved. Now I always save my images in my computer, B drive, Photoshop files and all my different images. Now people, the main thing that I wanted to show you today was, say that I'm going to select 4 of these images, okay. Now this dialog box supports multiple selection of images, okay, and for doing that you can just select an image and hold down your control key on your keyboard for selecting multiple images if you want to. Alright, you can do that if you want to, and this dialog box also supports the marquee selection that you may use for selecting 3 to 5 images at a time. Now I'm going to use a marquee selection for selecting these 4 images. Or actually guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and select the first image which is there over here, and I'm gonna click open for opening that image in Adobe Photoshop. Now if you guys remember, in the first video we had done some changes in the normal settings of Adobe Photoshop. So therefore guys, we can now use you can use the scroll wheel on your mouse for zooming into the images if you want. And if you don't like that, and if you haven't watched my first video on doing some basic settings in Adobe Photoshop, then you can use the keyboard shortcuts, that is Control and 0 for fit in view option which is there in Photoshop, or you can even go to the view menu and click on fit on screen, right? That's the control the command 0, control 0 on Windows and command 0 on Mac. Alright, so once that is done, but people, double clicking on the blank area and opening things can have lots of disadvantages. For example, right now I just brought in one image, okay, and now when there is blank space, okay, available to me, when I do a double click on it, that dialog box will not open. And then secondly guys, what happens is this kind of a bringing format, like importing format, is kind of like an old school and an amateur's work, okay. Now there is of course available that file menu and open command which will help you to bring your images into Photoshop, but the best way and a professional way of doing this or basically importing things to Adobe Photoshop is using mini bridge, okay, which is right over here. Now I'm going to explain I'm going to explain the interface of Adobe Photoshop in my later videos, in which I'm going to speak about mini bridge, right? But I give mini bridge and Adobe bridge. Adobe bridge, people, is supposed to be a totally a different software which ships with Photoshop and other Adobe products, but it is supposed to be one of the very important things that I think I have ever seen in Adobe products, okay. It basically allows you to import things into Photoshop in a much better and in a much efficient way. Now mini bridge was introduced into Photoshop in CS5, alright, and for using mini bridge, people, you need to have Adobe bridge running in your system. So I'm going to click on this button which says launch bridge, alright, and another way of launching bridge, Adobe bridge, is going under the file menu and clicking browse and bridge. But for some reason I feel I should take this button right here which says launch bridge. Once you click on it, you're going to see that Adobe bridge is now going to be running alright in your system. If you don't see it, it is actually minimized in the system tray, right? You can go ahead and do a double click to launch the thing. Now Adobe bridge is something that I'm not going to explain in today's tutorial, so you can just go ahead and, like, if you have opened Adobe bridge like me, you can go to the file menu and click on hide, alright, and Adobe bridge will just go away. And now people, you can see that you will now be able to use Adobe Mini Bridge. Okay, now Mini Bridge people is a very efficient tool or a very efficient concept that was introduced into Photoshop, alright, and it helps you to browse to your images in a much better way. Okay, now you have this path over here, right, which will allow you to browse your files, and you even have this one navigator over here which will allow you to do the same. You can click on this button over here which says my computer. So you can click on computer, and right now I have already used Bridge for browsing to my image. So I'm gonna use my path options which are available to me. I'm gonna click on my computer. Now just to show it to you, just for explaining purposes, D drive, no items to display because there are no images over here. I'm gonna open D drive on my left hand side navigator. Then I'm gonna open Adobe Photoshop files and images, which will be having these 3 images. But right now I'm not gonna work with them. I'm gonna instead use my wallpapers 2 command, alright, and these are the images which will be available to me. Now if you want to import some kind of an image into the actual Photoshop software, just do a double click on the image and that image will go and open in Photoshop. You want to do multiple file opening, just click on one file and hold down your control key on your keyboard, and you can select multiple files and do a double click on all of them, and slowly everyone will open in Adobe Photoshop, alright, which is just above Adobe Mini Bridge. Now if you want to collapse this panel, just do a double click on the panel name, that is a Mini Bridge, and Mini Bridge will go down. Similarly, if you want to open it, do a double click again and it's going to open again. Now I'm going to collapse this the thing, alright. And guys, when you have imported photos from Adobe Mini Bridge, okay, all of them are going to appear a little small to you, okay, though they may be extremely high resolution, alright, but they may appear small to you. Now if you have uploaded somewhere like, uploaded as in imported somewhere like 20 to 30 images, okay, it's not going to be efficient to go to everyone and keep on zooming into them and then like pressing command 0 and command 0 on for everyone. So for this reason, Adobe has given us one very cool thing in the software. Go under the Windows menu, alright people, and do arrange. Go under the arrange menu and go to match all. Okay, like say firstly you need to select one image and then properly zoom into that image. Okay, and when you feel that you're comfortable with this zoom ratio, go under Windows, arrange, and go to match all. Once you do a match all option and then you go to all your other images people are going to be matched accordingly. Okay, so that's a very important feature, I think, when you want to zoom into images. Alright, so that's how you do it. At least I really like it, and I really use it like that. So that's one way. And now people, we're gonna look at some of the very basic editing concepts that will just give you a proper jump start. Now since you people are beginners, that will give you a proper jump start in editing images. Okay, now firstly people, the work of a professional photographer is to take images. Okay, or if he's not in the shooting field, when images are given to him, he basically just color corrects all of them first. Okay, now he may be using Adobe Camera Raw for this option, alright, but what I feel that Adobe Photoshop also has a few options that can get the work done. Alright, now for that reason people, I'm gonna close my entire thing. Okay, I'm gonna do a right click on one of the images, alright, and I'm gonna do close all, which will close all the images that were open in Adobe Photoshop, and I'm gonna open Mini Bridge again by doing the double click on it. And this time people, I'm gonna go to images, okay, which where I have all my 3 images selected. And once I have selected my 3 images by doing the Marquee Selection, I'm gonna do a double click on all of them, which will make them open in Adobe Photoshop. I'm gonna open the first image, alright, and I'm gonna press Ctrl 0 so that it can fit in screen. I'm gonna go to my Windows, arrange, and do match all, so all my images have been in fit in screen view. Alright, so now people, let's take a look at all those 3 options which will allow you to do color correction in a very efficient and a very quick way, and it will be just great and you beginners will definitely love it. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, sorry. those image options, guys, or those color correcting options are gonna be in the image menu, okay, right here, guys. Right now, as you can see over this picture, people, okay, it's a penguin. You can see, like, if you people cannot see, all right, you can like there is this small yellowish and orangish kind of a cast over this image, all right. Now I'm gonna open my history panel, all right. By default, people, if you're using Photoshop, all right, and in my essentials workspace, the history panel is gonna be over here. Click on it, and I want you people to extend this whole thing all the way down so that it can take, like, it can be a really big thing, okay. So that you can use the like, instead of using Control Z, that is the undo option, you can use the history panel, right. Now we're gonna go under the image menu, alright, and we're gonna do auto color. Now auto color, people, is supposed to be an option which auto colors the color corrects the image without you actually getting to the part of sliders and all, and will do the auto color correction for you. Now, like I said, people, there is one orangish or kind of a yellowish kind of a cast over the image, alright. I'm gonna go to the menu command. I'm gonna go for the auto color. When I click on it, you'll see that now the picture on that, all that red kind of color has now just been removed from my image. So if I go to my open state in my history panel, okay, which is right over here, and if I go to my auto color state, alright, you'll see that how much difference it makes, okay, for removing that auto color, or that red kind of a cast which was there over the image. Similarly, guys, once you have applied auto color, make sure that you even apply all the remaining two options, okay, the image menu again, and we're gonna go and apply auto contrast. Now auto contrast is supposed to be the option, people, in which it will boost or basically give a support to the color which you have applied, or which is basically present in the image, okay. Now if you see the auto contrast, now you see, guys, that it didn't really make that much of a difference. Actually, it did not make any difference in this image. But as we move on for doing the three options in this, on the other images, you'll see how much different it makes, okay. And lastly, guys, we're gonna do the auto tone. And in this picture, guys, auto tone, guys, is giving me a green contrast kind of a thing, alright. So I would instead I would instead not have auto tone on this image, because you see it's giving me a green kind of a cast on my image, alright. But it is definitely better than to have this red kind of a cast on my image. So I'm just gonna go and leave it to my auto color state, okay. Now going on to the next image, we actually not this image, people, but I have this one image, okay, on which you can clearly see, okay, no matter how many no matter on which level you are using Photoshop for, even if you are a beginner, you'll definitely be able to see the green cast which is there on the image. So again, guys, the image menu and doing the auto color will just do a great job of actually removing the green cast, alright. But if you people are rookies, or actually, guys, if you people see over here, right, at this part of the image, and I'm gonna use my space bar for actually moving my image, okay. If you see this part, guys, okay, now this part, the green cast is still there, alright. I just saw it like that because just for some reason, you can say, right, or I've been practicing a lot of Photoshop these days, that I've actually seen the green cast which is over there. Now it didn't do that much of a job, but still, guys, at least going from the before and the after thing, it has done definitely a great job for revealing out the details which was there on the face and also on the t-shirt. Once again, guys, if you want to see the difference that the color tone have made, open the history panel, okay. Do not use the Control Z command, because I still have to teach you something about it, okay. So do not use the Control Z command. Go to the history state, okay, or this history menu right here. Is going to be closed by default. Open it, alright, and scratch it all the way down, because that's how a good professional editor works. And when you see this open state, okay, the first option is always going to stay open, and then all the differences that you have made on the image. So when you go for the open command, you'll see that how the image looked when you had just brought it into Photoshop, and when you applied the effect, what difference did it make, okay. So just toggling them back and forth will make you see the difference. And like I said, guys, it has done a great job of actually revealing some details in the image, alright. so it was very good. Similarly guys, we're gonna go and we're gonna apply all the the rest of the two options which we have. The auto contrast. Now if you see people, auto contrast right now in this image has given me a kind of an advantage. Okay, now if you see, I don't know if people can see or no, but his face, okay, especially on his forehead, you can you can see guys that there has been a small difference. I don't know if you people can see it in the video or no, since the video player is too small. Alright, and even if you are doing a full screen view, right, I don't know if people can see or no, but definitely guys, on the forehead and on the face, it definitely had made a difference, a little difference, but definitely a difference. And finally guys, you want to go for the auto tone command. Okay, now auto tone again guys is giving me, in this image too, is giving me that greenish kind of an effect, but in this image guys, I actually prefer to have this greenish kind of effect, because it, for some reason guys, it is just giving me a natural look that, you know, I have actually shot the image in a good way. Alright, and therefore I would like to keep this green tint on this image over here. So that's how you use the two very basic the three very basic color correcting features in Adobe Photoshop. Just go under the image menu and you can find them over there: the auto color, auto contrast, and auto tone. Alright, thank you for watching my video people. I'll join you guys on my next video. Thank you.